Hi Eli, we're Mike and Dengue from HORRORAMA. And first and foremost, congratulations on this new film.
Thank you.
Fantastic. We honestly enjoyed it.
Good. You're the audience, so that says a lot.
We're exactly the audience.
Exactly. So, you know.
My first question is, what makes a great slasher film?
I think you need great kills, great characters, great scares, good weapons, and an iconic slasher.
Of course.
That's great. Thank you for bringing back blood into the big picture. I think that was something that we didn't see a lot this year. And I want to ask you, which were some of the movies from the 80s that inspired specifically Thanksgiving?
Well, obviously, you know, when you go you can trace from Black Christmas to Halloween. I mean, you get a little bit of Twitch of the Death Nerve, but the movies it was like Halloween, My Bloody Valentine, April Fool's Day, Mother's Day, anything set around a holiday. Silent Night, Deadly Night was a big one. And then later Mute Witness is a big influence on Thanksgiving. But I always felt that November was like a dead zone. That after Halloween, the movies just ended and it became these family movies about families coming together. And I was like, I have to wait until January for another horror movie. Unless there was a Killer Santa movie or a Krampus movie, there was nothing. So I always wanted to fill the November gap. But then, you know, then some of the non-holiday ones, like The Prowler is a great one. I love The Prowler, Pitchfork, big nod to The Prowler. And Pieces, Juan Pico Simón, Mil Gritos de la Noche. This is just one of the greatest of all time. I love Pieces. Might be my favorite, even though it's not the greatest, it might be my favorite slasher film.
Wow.
So, you know, and then, you know, you just throw it in a blender with other things. You see, like, when we're shooting The Diner, I wanted that to look like 5 Easy Pieces. The Bob Rafelson film. I love that movie. I liked a little bit of Toby Dammit, the Fellini film in there. There's just certain touches, certain ideas, certain things that just infects, you know, your brain. It's all like a weird blender of stuff.
Okay.
That's great.
Younger audiences don't seem to be scared of the same things that scared us back in the 80s or the 90s. What does Thanksgiving offer to those younger audiences?
Well, I think you can't do the same thing you did in the 80s. It's not a movie set in the 80s. It's not an 80s movie. But I think that watching kids with social media deal with a killer, you're watching, you know, there's very basic things of how do you handle something you can't control, the loss of control. And the kids, you know, an innocent night turning into a night of tragedy in that trampling where they're just being stupid kids having a fun night out and it turns into this horrible, horrible death. You know, these people get killed at this trampling. That, you know, it's this idea that you could be doing something fun, and that stuff beyond your control happens, and that there's a riot that you're stuck in the middle of that you helped cause, and now, you know, watching your friends die in front of you is terrifying. So I think there's universal things, and I think you just have to have smart dialogue and smart characters and write them in and for me, when I'm writing, I have my friends' kids are now 17, 18, 19 years old, and they're like my secret weapons. So I'll write a scene and I'll say, okay, you like this guy and you want to say it, how would you say that? And they, oh, I would do this. Or, okay, you want to make the friend look good, what would you do if there was a post? Okay, I would do it like that. And then you write it like that, and then the cast are like, how do you know this stuff? You should know. And you go, all right, I'm really tuned in. And then you rehearse it with them so it feels natural to them. So it's really putting in the work as a writer. And I'm always interested in young culture. I'm really just interested in people and what do 12-year-old thinks and 15-year-olds and 20-year-olds, like what do they think? What's going on? Where are they at? How are they seeing things? What's offensive to them? What's scary to them? So it's just, you know, as just kind of an interested person, just talking to them and having conversations and just being completely wide open to, you know, what they have to say.
That's fantastic. And which was the main challenge of bringing a fake trailer to a full-length movie?
Well, it started, you know, this idea started when I was 12 years old. So after the fake trailer was just an opportunity to add those kills we had already thought of from the time we were kids. But then the challenge became, the trailer was so successful, people loved it so much, how do we connect those kills? And we couldn't, because there's no story, so you're just, the movie's ridiculous. So, and the trailer's supposed to be fun and absurd and silly. And I wanted to make a real proper slasher movie, playing by the rules of slasher films, all the conventions that I love. So the only thing, the solution was we said we have to pretend Thanksgiving 1980 was a movie that came out in theaters that was so offensive. Every print was pulled from the theaters the day of release, and they were burned. And the only thing that survived was one trailer that's been lurking on the internet. And that this is a reboot of what that movie was. And that freed us up to write a great story, use our favorite kills, but also incorporate the Black Friday trampling. Once we saw the Black Friday videos on YouTube of people killing each other and trampling each other for big screen TVs, I thought that's the way, that's how we open it. That's our inciting incident that we can base the movie around.
Okay, that's great. Congratulations
Thanks,
on
guys.
the film.
Glad
Thank
you
you so
enjoyed
much
it.
for your time.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you
Nice
so
to
much.
meet you.